Hi, I'm JD Martz, and welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard. It's going to be a little bit of a different episode today because today we are going to be talking about the Rest Stop Ranch. And I actually did a tour there earlier this week just to check out this beautiful space that is fully accessible. And so today I have a special guest. It's the owner and proprietor of Rest Stop Ranch, Mary McDonald. Hi, Mary.
Hi, JD.
How are you doing?
Excellent.
So I just was wondering if you could give us just kind of like a little overview of the Rest Stop Ranch, just kind of how it came to be and what it's about.
I was just a burned out caregiver person when we moved to this home.
Right.
And when I noticed that he was creating these gardens, and Carl and I had the experience of pushing my mom's wheelchair at end of life
Mm-hmm.
through some of the finest garden areas in New England. And when we did that, we noticed that the plants were never close enough to our person or to us.
Yeah, there's always some kind of barrier, like a wall
Or the
grass.
the trail is big enough for a truck to go down, which I understand is, it's useful for the arboretum people to be able
Right.
to bring your truck and maintain the big trees. And I said, if I was a chair user and I was like there to there with a 30-pound plaster cast, I would want the rose right there, the raspberry right there, the apple right there, like within 1 feet of me. Yeah. So that's the garden that we've created.
I was there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you and Carl and Rosemary gave me and my wife a tour around. And it was beautiful. There were nice stone pavers. I mean, you can look at what we're wearing right now. It's not like the best time of year for gardens. You know, this is the end of kind of the season, so it was the fall. But even considering that, it was still just really beautiful and felt very wild and natural just to be out there. But at the same time, not have the fear of getting stuck or being somewhere where someone couldn't find us if we did get stuck.
Yeah.
So it was nice to just kind of cruise in a way that my head wasn't, flying off this all the time because I drive with my head.
Yeah.
And just kind of to go down and slowly enjoy this nature that is literally reaching towards me. That does kind of lean into that feeling of being on a hike versus just being in an arboretum or some kind of like beautiful, well-kept garden. It's like, it has that wild side that gives you that feeling. And plus, like the yard is loaded with like these trees, these beautiful tall trees that kind of continue to encapsulate and create that enchanted forest almost feeling. The pavers that we were cruising around on, there was a beautiful koi pond. And then you guys even have this thing, it's essentially to give you the vibe of a treehouse, but still being accessible. So you can get on it. And the idea of trees growing up through architecture was always such a beautiful thing to me. And to see that is it just gives you that, I don't know, that Swiss Family Robinson, like tree house.
Yeah.
But kind of just like lost in nature feeling.
Yeah.
But there's also a little bit of like a home space, because it is smooth. It's nice. You can get up on it and you're not like, I'm having a conversation with someone, but I'm not like on an angle where I'm like, hey, how's it going? Literally trying to hold my head up the whole time because it's level. And when we went around back, we went over the kind of like wood area that went over it that looked beautiful alongside the lily garden, and then kind of opens up to this fire pit place. And what excited me about that, because right past the fire pit, you see this hill that goes down to this beautiful, just pastoral, picturesque, like pond.
Mm-hmm.
And, you guys were talking about wanting to put like an accessible little switchback down there, potentially a little dock on the water. And I think that's almost like the perfect little cherry on top to what you already have there.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. You've got nature, you've got the accessibility aspect. You've got some wildlife, you've got some edible nature and some very colorful nature. But then this is almost like now you can go down into the water and have the sun kind of kiss your face. And for me, when I got injured, I was 28. So I had lived quite a life up to that point where, I was very active out in nature, exploring. And my wife and I have tried to recreate that since then, since I've been in a chair. And you can kind of do that. It's you just take things slower, but at the same time, there is always that fear of you're going to get stuck and there's no one around and you don't know how this trail's going to end. And if it rained the day before, are you going to get stuck in the mud and someone's going to panic? And, my wife's not a bodybuilder. She's not going to be able to, I'm probably around pushing 700 pounds with this chair. So it's going to take more than just any bodybuilder, probably like world's strongest man, to yank me out of that. So seeing this space and kind of exploring that, really, it created that feeling, that sense without the fear, the underlying fear.
I'm so glad that you are saying those words, because we've been really trying to promote just how accessible our gardens are for over 10 years now. One of our slogans is, it's a breath of fresh air, escape long-term care.
Awesome. Well, on that note, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on, Mary. And thank you for inviting myself and my wife to come tour your beautiful property. And we'll certainly be back.
Awesome.
And then maybe we'll see you back on the show at some point.
Thank you, JD.
But thank you so much for being with us. It's been another episode of Seen and Heard, and have a lovely day.